James Franklin is playing Enter Sandman. Lane Kiffin, just make a decision. That's all we're asking. And thank God Cupcake Week is going to go away after this year. All that and more. Fourth and One podcast.
Did we just see anything we just saw?
What it do? We are back and better than ever. It's your boys, Captain Boring and NotCFBIII. Robert, how's it doing, my dude?
It is doing.
Excellent. I love the energy tonight. So we are just going to jump right in here and actually start with something that transcends the game of college football. Something that is so spectacular, people in the comments need to get involved and drop a congratulations to my dog, Robert. You got engaged this past weekend.
Yep. Took the leap, gave up another college football Saturday to do it, but I don't think
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it, on the banks of Lake Memorial out there at 40 Indian Town Gap while the artillery shells were firing off. That was nice.
Nice. Very American. That's very, is there anything more American than that?
All I needed was an apple pie, and I was golden.
There you go. Shout out to Heather. Congratulations. More importantly to her, I think, is the real congratulations. Yeah. She has to now put up with you. So
Yep. She got herself a golden star,
Yeah. That it burns hot and fast and just fades into the night. All right, Bob. Well, congratulations. Drop your congratulations below. Make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Fourth and One Pod on TikTok, Fourth and One Podcast everywhere else. Go like and subscribe on YouTube, please. We're getting new fans every day, so welcome if you are new here. Thank you so much. Go ahead and turn that notification bell on. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm now done begging for people's attention. Robert.
Yes.
What grabbed our attention most recently is that James Franklin finally got a job in Blacksburg, Virginia. He has agreed to be the next head coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies. I think that this is a great move. What are your thoughts about this? Both for Franklin and for Virginia Tech. So if you can talk about both sides.
For Franklin, I would say, I guess you would consider it a step down in the realm of program. There's not as much, I guess, history as, Penn State's all about history, or lack thereof. But I like it for Franklin just because the recruiting is exactly the same. Just, he's going to be able to recruit the same people that he's wanted to recruit now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Good for Virginia Tech. Bad for Penn State because he can just get whoever he really wants.
He's a good recruiter.
Yeah. It's good for Virginia Tech because they're getting a coach who, we give him a lot of crap for not winning the big games and stuff like that. But, he didn't lose too often. Now, this year was a different story, but I think that was Cole Nicky still needs to be fired from Penn State. So that's kind of is what it is. But especially with Virginia Tech committing to spending almost $60 million a year for the next 4 years for their NIL and everything. So I think it's going to be on the up and up for Virginia Tech. The ACC is not a good conference lately, football-wise. Clemson's on the downward slide. Florida State hasn't been on the upslide since Jimbo was there. So it's a very wide-open conference. I guess he would just have to beat Virginia. Is that what we would go with? Virginia and Old Dominion? Is that kind of their...
right now, Virginia. Tony Elliott's done a great job with them this year, in line for maybe a college football playoff berth, maybe an ACC title. Wake Forest kind of waking up. They had a pretty good season, this year. Miami as well. I think that'll be a big matchup next year if I would be the ACC schedule makers.
Right, but that would be Virginia would be their rival.
Yeah. Oh,
like
for
Penn
sure.
State they wanted a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And their only rivalry was really Michigan State because they had to make it up.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
The Commonwealth Cup.
Yeah. Is that what that's called? I didn't know that.
Commonwealth something. Could be a cup,
Okay.
spittoon. It's a big thing.
Okay. Is that what a spittoon is? A big cup?
Well, spittoon is just like a little dip thing you spit in it. But I don't think it's really a spittoon because it has handles. But
oh god, whatever it is. Okay. I think Arkansas kind of missed out on an opportunity here, and it kind of makes me question if they are going to commit as much resources as Virginia Tech is to the football program, which kind of surprises me because the Walmart, that's where the Walmart headquarters is in Fayetteville, so I thought that there would be more of a connection there. I mean, it's all about money, but also Franklin did very well at Tennessee when he was there. Tennessee and Arkansas right next to each other. So you're going to be recruiting kind of the same region, I would think, there. I really thought that Arkansas would be a good fit for him. Now, Robert, to your point, it's much harder to win in the SEC. I think everyone recognizes that than it is the ACC, as you made your final point there. In terms of the remaining jobs that are open, Arkansas is included, Auburn, LSU, Florida, Penn State, Oklahoma State, UCLA, Stanford, Oregon State, Colorado State, and UAB. So let's just go with Stanford, UCLA, or Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Penn State, Florida, LSU, and Auburn. Rank those openings from best job to worst.
Well, first off, it's a lot of team names, and not a lot of brain space, my brother.
Okay. So let me start over. I'll give it to you in 3. Rank these jobs. Okay. Auburn, LSU, Florida.
I would say the best I'm going to go LSU just because it's just recruiting and people would want to go there. Probably. Okay, then it was Florida and
Auburn.
Florida probably 2, Auburn 3rd. But I mean, you could probably interchange. You could honestly interchange any of them. Auburn, I feel like, would be a little trickier, just because your 100% recruiting is solely based off of trying to beat Alabama for in-state recruits.
Okay, and then Penn State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State.
Penn State would be 1, Arkansas, and then Oklahoma State.
Okay. So which is the better job, LSU or Penn State?
I would say the better job probably Penn State.
Okay.
Because I want to say LSU, but it's easy. It would be easier.
I agree. I think you will get more grace at Penn State than you will LSU. So LSU fired Brian Kelly after 4 seasons. If James Franklin, who went 104-45 in 12 seasons at Penn State, he was basically what Brian Kelly was year in, year out for LSU at Penn State, if you break it down. 10-win seasons, 9-win seasons. I think, Franklin's had a few 8 wins. He's had 1 7. Obviously, this year was the worst year if you discount the COVID year. You're going to get more grace at Penn State, more stability, more security. Plus, it's not as... Yes, I understand LSU, a lot of good recruits, but I do feel like you're competing with the Alabamas still. You got Texas is now involved. You got the Auburns, Georgia in that area, a lot of top tier teams. Then in Penn State, you're competing with, no offense, actually all offense, after this past weekend's performance, Pittsburgh. Who's going to win in that recruiting battle, right? Penn State or Pittsburgh? Right. Easy, Penn State.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a number 1 running back. He's a 5-star. He's from McKeesport, which is literally Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Keemon Spell. He was originally like going to Penn State. He might be the number 1 running back this year, I think.
Okay.
But
maybe
they fired
Virginia Tech now.
They fired Franklin, and then no, he's going to go to Georgia probably.
Okay.
He as soon as Franklin was fired, he decommitted, and it was like Georgia popped right on the thing. So.
Oh, got you. Okay, so that was I mean, maybe Franklin could flip him, but I guess he's going to.
McKeesport also lost to Aliquippa, who I'm just saying is in the state playoffs. So,
what's Aliquippa? Obviously, it's a high school.
Okay,
but
Aliquippa City in Western PA, historically good high school. That's where like Darrell Revis went, and they win state playoffs a decent amount. They're always good in football. Okay. I know you don't follow Pennsylvania high school football, but
no, I don't follow any high school football.
I know,
totally honest.
I know. And I try to tell you, man, there's some good kids out there.
No. I believe you. And
Penn State gets a lot of their players from Aliquippa. Actually,
would it make you happy if I gave you 5 minutes on every podcast to talk about high school football recruiting? Or
probably not. No, I mean, it wouldn't make me feel good. It was just like I could tell, state playoffs are full swing. Shamokin's in it, baby. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Hey, I'm down for what is Shamokin's mascot?
Indian.
Okay. I'm down for the Shamokin Indians. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Win those state playoffs. Are they going to win or no?
I mean, they can. They're playing a really good Southern Lehigh team, but they remember the kid I was telling you about who was a 3-star who just got offered from Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty good.
All right. Well, looking forward to hearing about updates on that next podcast. Give us a Shamokin update.
You got it.
All right. Here we go. All right. So this past weekend, I have deemed Survive and Advance weekend because that's what a bunch of teams, especially in the noon window, had to do. Friday night, Oregon just dominated Minnesota. They were number 8 last week. We are taping this on Tuesday at 5:30. The ranking show is at 7:30 or 7 or something like that on ABC. Some man would be mad at me if I didn't tell you what channel. So will Oregon be higher? Maybe. Will they be lower? Louisville lost to Clemson, so that's big because Louisville was going to give some teams their strength of schedule, elevate that. Ohio State, Indiana took care of business. Big one. Number 3 in the noon window. Survive and Advance. Down 30-3 at halftime. Robert, Texas A&M decided to stop messing around. Rips off 28 straight points to win 31-30. What a wild game this was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trust me. Sitting there looking at my phone every couple minutes.
So the big thing all weekend was turnovers. It was a common theme again throughout the day that led to mostly of these Survive and Advance. Texas A&M, bunch of turnover. I think 3 turnovers in the first half. 1 turnover in the second half. That was able to lead to a comeback. Their defense then decided to play defense against Lenore Sellers. Poor Lenore Sellers. I really think he would be just rocking for some team that actually had its stuff together. Oklahoma survived in advance, went on the road, beat Alabama, number 4 Alabama. I still think that both of these teams, unless if they get matched up to each other in the playoffs, both of these teams are first round exit waiting to happen. Because Oklahoma ran the ball 74 yards, 23 of that was John Mateer. And then Alabama, Daniel Hill ran for 60 yards, 4 yards a carry. They didn't give it to him consistently enough, and they only ran for 80 yards as a team. So I just think with both of these rushing attacks that Alabama and Oklahoma are just first-round exits waiting to happen.
The crazy part for me is the fact is Alabama. Because this Alabama team definitely better than last year's, would you say?
This year? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Quarterback, light years better. Ty Simpson, compared to week 1 against Florida State compared to right now, night and day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There has been such a step back from players who should be perennial all-stars like Ryan Williams. That is a big factor. He is actually projected to be worse this year than last year. Like
right now,
it's one of the, where has his threat gone? Why is it you have? Well, first off, why is it you don't really have a run game except for Daniel Hill? I do like Daniel Hill. That dude runs.
No, it's the
TJ
offensive line,
Yeldon,
though.
like Eddie Lacy kind of
Right.
runner, like that. That stick with him.
Right. I agree. I think. Okay, so yes, Ryan Williams hasn't stepped up because I think if he was more of a legitimate number 2 wide receiver, that their passing game would be even more explosive, and it kind of really wouldn't matter their lack of the run game. But where's the physicality? Outside of Caden Proctor, who, yes, he's a good passing tackle, but right now, and he, you can do fun things with him, like that side of the offensive line, he's not dominating in run blocking right now. I haven't watched a bunch of Caden Proctor tape, but if he was dominating in the run game, they would run more his way, and they just don't. So I don't know what's going on there. Oklahoma, like I said, they're just surviving and advancing. They're getting helped out. That Texas kind of went on a little bit of run. I think Texas is now out with their loss to Georgia, but we'll see what the committee says tonight. I just still think they are too John Mateer reliant in the running game. Xavier Robinson, 10 carries, 34 yards, led them, but John Mateer also had 10 carries. Oh, and let's just put it this way. The defense did score them 10 points. So it wasn't like Alabama's defense fell asleep and let them score 45 points, right? So I think Oklahoma is a playoff team based on resume, but they are a fake playoff team in my mind. And the NFL has this too. But
of those two, I would say Oklahoma would be more prone to the first round bounce.
Yeah.
I think Alabama would be able to take care of their first round matchup, barring they don't get matched up with Texas A&M gets the first round bye, and they get matched up with Georgia right away, and it's like, okay,
it's a 12-5 matchup because Alabama gets last spot or whenever.
Yeah, if Alabama
11-6, whatever,
they'll get a favorable matchup, but yeah, I would say Oklahoma probably would get bounced first.
Okay, so then I wasn't ready for you to stop talking there, but that's all right.
That's okay. It's cool.
I'll adjust. It's not like it's my one job out here. Georgia, Texas. You texted right before kickoff. Right before kickoff, you're just like, I can't wait to watch Texas just get their ass beat for 3.5 hours. And I was like, you think? And you're just like, yeah, did you see how they walked out? And I was like, I went back and I rewinded. I was like, yeah, he's
Dude,
right.
All business. When Georgia came out, it was all business. Yeah. Kirby came out, everyone was calm, cool, collected, and it was like, okay. And then Texas came out, jumping around, hand signals, big boombox, and I was like, shit, this game's over.
Georgia is my number 1 team. So on the recap shows, I don't know if you listen to those or not. It's fine if you don't. I give my top 5 natty contenders. I believe in any one season at any given point, there are really only 5 teams that can win the natty, right? And then it'll get narrowed down just through the playoff system as we go. And I have kind of not been ranking them, and I just started ranking them. I put Georgia number 1 and Ohio State 2. I know that will offend the Ohio State fans, especially on the rant that I went on a few weeks ago. Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame, I'm sorry, Indiana. Notre Dame is number 5, though. Texas A&M, and then I would put in Notre Dame at 5.
Yeah, that's valid.
Do you have any other 5 teams, I guess? That's my question.
Any other 5? I don't think so. I mean, those five teams have, putting Notre Dame at 5, I can agree with, just because, they've done what they had. It's a copy and paste of last year.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's you kind of, like you see it coming, but you don't see it coming. And it was like, okay, well, if Notre Dame loses another game, they're in trouble. And they just go on a run. They stay under the radar. We talked about the Pittsburgh game, and we're like, well, nope, this is actually going to be a really terrible game. Notre Dame's just going to beat the hell out of Pittsburgh, and it's going to be another waste of college game day. And what happened? They just beat down Pittsburgh. Maybe you could put like you could probably interchange Ole Miss and Notre Dame. Ole Miss is just a weird. I think it's their defense that just is bothersome. But then also, I would almost put Texas Tech ahead of. You could probably put Texas Tech at 5 because I think they might have the best defense in the country because they will definitely make you turn the ball over. Now, when they play a team, if they go and they play Georgia, are they just going to like give literally everything up and Georgia's defense going to just beat everyone?
So all those 3 teams you just mentioned are teams that I've had in the top 5 kind of for that last spot, just kind of rotating throughout the year. It was Ole Miss until recently, but I'm really falling in love very quickly with Texas Tech. They've kind of been on my back burner. I've been paying attention, but every time I turn it on, that defense is just turning the ball over, getting sacks, stopping the run, playing fundamentally sound, nasty defense. Notre Dame, for all your points, flying under the radar. But again, every time we're just like, oh, Notre Dame and Boise State. Maybe Boise State will give them some trouble and punch them in the mouth. They just railroad them. Oh, maybe Pittsburgh might give them a little bit of a, test and, maybe punch them in the mouth a little bit. Let's see if they're actually rebounding. Nope. Notre Dame just steamrolls over them. So those 2 teams just answer the call. And then Ole Miss, the one thing I don't like is their rush defense. But I feel like they've gotten away with it because Trinidad Chambliss has been playing so well. But those are kind of my 5 and then my next 3. In terms of other teams that survived and advanced over the weekend, Notre Dame was not one of them. Ole Miss messed around for 3 quarters. I mean, I think that was a Florida 24-21 lead at the end of 3, and then Ole Miss kind of scored 2 touchdowns, put the game away.
Yeah, and it was, and they even brought it up like during the game, like it was the same scenario, and for Ole Miss just choked it away. Choked it away last year, and it was like, are they going to do it this year? And it really looked like it because, man, oh man, were there so many wide open receivers.
Yeah. The running game, Keywan Lacey for Ole Miss, very impressive. I think he has the Ole Miss touchdown record for the season. I'm pretty sure he has like 19 rushing touchdowns, and I think I think I heard them say that in the broadcast. USC also kind of survived-ish. Like they were down 11 at halftime to Iowa, which is hard to do. Speaking from being a Michigan fan experience, shut out Iowa in the second half. Won 26-21. They've also kind of been surviving and advancing these last couple of weeks. They got a big weekend coming up against Oregon. We'll get into that a little bit. And then Michigan does something that no one can find stats on. So we're pretty sure it's the first time ever. And you just don't want to be the first time ever. Michigan turned the ball over 5 times. Didn't force a turnover themselves. And they doubled up Northwestern in total yardage, and yet they had to use a game-winning field goal to win the ball game 24-22. Robert, when I tell you the amount of times I screamed at the TV and wanted to throw things through this game was there, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, I kind of think that we should start a movement where we stop playing football games in baseball stadiums.
No, you're not a fan?
Not really, because like Zavada was missing kicks, but he's been missing kicks kind of all year. But like, there's such differences depending on which end you're kicking on.
Yeah,
especially in Chicago, where it's literally the Windy City. But you're also not playing on like. I guess that's grass, right?
Yeah, that was natural grass. Yeah.
I just don't like. I obviously didn't get to watch the entire game because of the pictures and everything that was going on. Did they still have like the dirt from the infield and stuff like that?
No, so they did cover that, but you could kind of still see the dirt. Like it wasn't really like thick turf, and that was when he missed a field goal in the first quarter. He was standing right on the infield, so that patch of grass, and that's when he missed it. He just didn't pull it enough, and it just like kind of went over the outside part of the upright. So he just
if you have to alter like the playing surfaces, like you probably shouldn't do it.
Why didn't you play at Chicago or Chicago Stadium? Yeah,
at Soldier.
At Soldier Field. I wonder why you didn't.
I don't know if
play it there.
If they're just they probably would have had to have paid the Bears whatever amount.
They probably had to play
weren't.
Wrigley, right?
Yeah, but it was probably cheaper. And it would probably, based off of the number of fans they were going to have, to probably just fit a little better because baseball stadiums really don't have that many fans.
If USC gets matched up with Oregon, no, not Oregon, Texas Tech in the playoff, who wins?
USC versus Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Okay.
Texas Tech will probably walk out of that game causing 3 or 4 turnovers.
So everyone is screaming for expansion because someone's going to get left out and all this. But my point is, let's say Michigan goes on a run. They beat Maryland. They beat Ohio State. Oregon beats USC. Michigan gets some help. They wind in the playoff. If Michigan plays... let's do it this way. If Michigan plays Oklahoma again, who wins?
Probably still Oklahoma.
So everyone wants expansion for the playoff, but what I'm saying is kind of the final 2 teams or that 4th Big Ten team or the teams on the bubble, right? Even the Miami. Say Miami has to play Alabama. Who wins?
Well, hold on. I would normally say Alabama, but I think Miami's defense would give Bama more fits, but for the sake of the argument, we'll say Bama.
Miami, Ole Miss. Okay. Like, so maybe Miami
to me would be a wild card to where if there was an argument to expand to get like a Miami in, because I think Miami can play up to that caliber. Like Michigan, we know can't play up to that caliber. We mess around too much. USC is not the caliber that they would need to be. They proved that when they lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Who else is on the outside looking in? Georgia Tech.
Utah's there. BYU's there.
I think we need to get away from this Utah argument because Utah, the 2 big teams they play, it's the same thing as Notre Dame.
So Utah, USC, Michigan all kind of have the same resume, which is they've gotten blown out once, right? USC went to Notre Dame, got blown out. Miami went to USC, and Utah actually got blown out at home. And then they kind of lost a close game in there. USC lost a 1-point game. Michigan lost an 11-point game. Really, that was that was a game until the end there. And Miami lost close to Louisville at home. So they all have the same resume. So between those 3, I guess, and Utah has a close win or loss on the road to BYU. So I guess what I'm asking is, since they all have the same resume, aren't we just fighting for scraps here, fighting to get beat down in the first round?
Yeah, you don't. Well, if you are fighting to get the 12 spot is a 12 spot. That's just your JMU, like
right.
Not like don't sleep on JMU because they might be able to make something happen. But if you're fighting for 11, 10, 9. Say hi to Carrie for me.
It's actually my dog that I'm looking at. It's even sadder.
You're probably not cut for it yet.
Right.
Because What was Ohio State last year? Entering 5-6-5. They had a home game.
They got seeded at. No, last year was weird seeding. Were they the 5th seed or were they? No, it worked out where they were like the 8th seed or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if you're fighting for like those last couple spots, it's like, unless you just had a really bad draw where like Ohio State lost to Michigan at the end of the season and that just dropped them to that. Like, but if you're the 15 trying to sneak into an 11, you're probably not. There's a reason you probably weren't up there to begin with. Like, by no means should Michigan make the playoff. But if Michigan would make the playoff, it's like, yeah, that's a first round exit.
I agree with you. Yeah. Again, unless if they get incredibly hot, right?
Right.
I mean, you could say that about any of these teams. If any of these teams get hot, and I think that's the thing about Utah. See, I think Utah's last loss was long ago. Yeah, so Utah went to BYU a month ago. Then they blew out Colorado, blew out Cincinnati, blew out Baylor. And so people are like, oh my goodness. But 24-point loss at home to Texas Tech, 3-point loss to BYU. And Arizona State was ranked, but now they're not. So that loss doesn't look as good. All right, but we digress. We are moving on to the group of 5. And really, I just want to say, or have you tell me, of these teams, James Madison, North Texas, Tulane, those are the teams that are ranked right now. Maybe more are ranked. Who, and that's the AP, best shot to win a playoff game. Not just make the playoff, but to win a playoff game.
To win is probably JMU. North Texas is very much so balls in the air 90% of the time.
They're
and
fun.
if they play against a team that has any sort of like athletic corners and safeties, or like if they would play against Ohio State, who, you know, Patricia's really just dialed in. I mean, they're not going to beat you on the ground. Their defense isn't what's going to beat you. It's a shootout. I don't think Tulane. I don't really ever trust the teams that come out of the American, just because it's not that you should trust teams from the Sun Belt either. But at least James Madison is 2 years in a row that they've kind of proven that they need to be towards the top.
Can I make your argument for you right now?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Your argument for JMU right here. I'll make it for you. They are top 10 in rushing, total rushing yards, and they are, in terms of total yards a game, on defense, they are 5th. So they run the ball and play great defense. And if anything's going to give you a shot in the playoff, it's going to be It's going to be running the ball and playing great defense, which is what James Madison does.
Yeah, and James Madison's only loss is to Louisville. And it wasn't like a huge loss. It was in the grand scheme of things for a Sun Belt going up against an ACC school, it was close.
I think JMU was rooting for Louisville ever since they beat Miami to not lose another one, and then of course they go ahead and drop an egg on Friday night. You know.
Yeah, but I think the teams that James Madison essentially has to go up against. I mean, North Texas, their only shot at a really good win was against South Florida, and they got hammered 63-36. I remember taking the over for that game. And Tulane also does not have a ranked win because they got blown out by Ole Miss. So the only one who has a win against a team probably in the top 50, 60 is JMU.
Hey. And that's our points, and we're sticking to those. All right, let's go ahead and look ahead for week 13. It's kind of weird. There are 14 weeks in the college football season, which is just a really weird thing. But I digress. For a 12, you basically get 2 buys. So, you know. All right. Not a lot of ranked-unranked violence. The only real ranked-unranked violence is, again, this is pre-committee ranking tonight, is USC Oregon. So if there are more, we apologize. But USC Oregon, this is kind of USC's last stand, is what a lot of people are saying. Michigan needs Oregon to actually beat USC 3:30 CBS Saturday in order to give them a much better shot at playing for a spot in the Big Ten title game come Ohio State, should they not lose to Maryland, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibilities given who we are dealing with. Robert, USC, Oregon, game day's going there, which I know you're upset about. Who you got?
I'm going to say Oregon. I think Oregon's going to beat them I think they have more speed. And I think Oregon's definitely been paying attention to the past couple games that USC's had where USC really hasn't looked not terrible, but like they're going to look at the Nebraska game where they only won by 4. They're looking at the Iowa game that they only won by 5. They're looking at the Notre Dame game where there's nothing, Oregon, the only one you can really look at is what's their nuts? Indiana. And I don't think USC can mimic what Indiana did.
I am also going Oregon. I don't think Dan Lanning loses 2 big home games in a row in the same season. I also am not loving what I'm seeing out of Jaden Maiava. So Jaden Maiava, okay, he was 23 of 32 for 254 and a touchdown against Iowa, and I get it. Iowa plays really sound defense, but he's just not – there's no real explosiveness to the offense, which there was against Illinois, against Michigan early in the season. So it seemed to have plateaued, and I think Oregon is still finding new ways to win ball games. They play great defense, not to mention they are at home. And when USC has been away from the Coliseum, those have been their 2 losses, right? They lost to Notre Dame and
Notre Dame. And then they lost to Illinois. So at Illinois, yeah.
And at Illinois. So they're not as good away from the Coliseum. So give me the Ducks, Dan Lanning. Big game for Oregon, too, because I think if they lose, then people are looking at Oregon at maybe a bubble team at best. Dan Lanning also over 500 against top 25 teams, so that record should continue. Robert, we are going to talk about Penn State, Nebraska, and you're going to ask me why.
Why?
And I'm going to tell you because what I found comical, from a team just down in the dumps with 0 Big Ten wins, they then get their first Big Ten win against now bottom dweller Michigan State. But Michigan State and Purdue should have to play each other to determine who's the worst in the Big Ten. I think every conference should do that, actually. That would be a cool bowl game to watch. Penn State's favored by 9.5. Over Nebraska, who's 7-3, 4-3 in the Big Ten, and until a few weeks ago, we're feeling good about themselves. Dylan Raiola breaks his ankle, everything goes out the window. But still 7-3, best record Lincoln's had in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to all be because they don't have Raiola, but I mean, Penn State also. I mean, they beat Michigan State, but they're not the first team to do that this season. They weren't the second, third, fourth, or fifth, or sixth. I mean, Michigan even beat them, and that was a stretch. But you figure they probably get what, one? You get 1 for being home. I think I also saw that they were trying to do another whiteout.
I do love games like this where the team just fringes, like Penn State fighting for bowl eligibility. I think all the fans, giving up national championship, this is just a desolate season. You're just fighting for anything, and here comes bowl eligibility. Can we get it? Can we get it? So
Yeah.
It gives something fun for the fans to be excited about. So who do you like? Do you got like Penn State? Did you say that? I may have missed that. 9.5. Not to cover, to win.
9.5. I would say if you're betting it, take Nebraska plus 9.5, but I would I bet you Penn State does win this game though.
I think so too.
Because
true freshman quarterback. Yeah.
Another pretty interesting thing: Penn State's top 5 running backs. Okay.
Yeah.
And they would be, obviously Saquon's on there. Number 5 is Nick Singleton.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3 is Katron Allen. So Penn State has 2 of the 5 best running backs that college has ever had.
Nick Singleton should have gone pro. I think he's getting the Donovan Edwards right now, where he just gets in his head too much about running.
Yeah.
And Katron's just kind of running full steam ahead.
Yeah. Well, guys, I remember saying this at Dion, and I was like, could you imagine if they actually could have figured this out? Like, you have 2 of your best ever running backs for a college, and you're 1-6 in the Big Ten. Like, just not anywhere close where you wanted to be.
Yeah, hey, and maybe that does fall on James Franklin, or, maybe they're not, yes, they're good in terms of school history, but they're not good in terms of national league. I don't know. Only time will tell. All right, Robert, I got a good one for you. Missouri State Bears are 5-1 in Conference USA and 7-3 overall. You know who's also 7-3 and 5-1 in Conference USA?
Let me hear it.
Kennesaw State.
That's what we like to hear.
This is a game that we are picking, and then the last one is really going to shock you, the game that I picked. So let's see here. Kennesaw State is actually favored by 6.5. You can watch this game on Saturday on ESPN Plus if you care to pay for that subscription. Kennesaw State looks like runs the ball pretty well, but Missouri State kind of does everything well. So Missouri State's only losses are to USC, to Western Kentucky, and to SMU. So 2 Power 4 programs. Kennesaw State's 3 losses have been to Wake Forest, Indiana, and Jacksonville State. So again, 2 of their losses have come from Power 4 conferences. Who do you like between Kennesaw State and Missouri State? I should mention the standings. Jacksonville State is 6-0, and Western Kentucky, who no one's lost to, that's his Jacksonville State. So Jacksonville State, Western Kentucky, Kennesaw, Missouri State. Who you like?
I'm going to go Kennesaw State.
Okay. They are the home team. I am going to actually go against the grain, and their quarterback, Jacob Clark, has thrown for 2,200 yards. That's 700 more yards than Kennesaw State's. 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Compared to Mr. Amari Odom for Kennesaw State. 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's going to turn the ball over twice. Missouri State's going to get the upset win on the road. That's as much analysis for college football game I've done in quite some time. And that was kind of fun. So I hope people at home enjoyed it. All right. Finally, the last game that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to kind of mess around and try to get this parlay right and talk about whatever else we want to talk about, is coming from the FCS ranks. And it is coming from the Big Sky. Montana State goes on the road to take on Montana. It is at 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus. So again, if you pay for that, enjoy. They are both 7-0 in the Big Sky. Montana State is 9-2. I believe one of their losses came in week 1 against Oregon, and then they did lose to South Dakota State. Montana has been perfect. They have not played anyone in the Power 4 or even in FBS. There is a rivalry name to this, Robert, which escapes me. This is for top in the Big Sky. They will more than likely meet again down the line. Who you got, Montana State or Montana?
I'm going to go Montana State, the Bobcats.
Okay, yeah. Did you have to think about that?
Why would you not, okay, I get Oregon and USC, but this is what's wrong with College Game Day is big schools, big schools, big schools. Go to these FCS schools, man. Go to like your Division III. Go where like the kids aren't getting these big paydays, where they're actually playing football to play football, not for the money. Like, it'd be cool.
I thought you were gonna have this great long point.
Oh no,
rant, and then you were just like, it'd be cool.
Well, and it would, you know. They only did it like once or twice. Yeah, I think, you know, they do it when like it's like North Dakota State and whoever for their like SCS championship. But like, check some of these schools. Like, go to other parts of the United States. Like, we're going to Alabama for the 7th time in however many years.
I agree with you. I do wonder if, because ESPN is the company that it seems to be, and I don't know because I don't work there, just everything that has happened between them and Disney recently, I do wonder if it costs more to go to smaller schools or take more effort. And so sometimes I wonder if dollars and cents play into this, or it truly, if they just don't want to go to these smaller schools. I don't know, but yeah, I'm with you. Let's see Montana State. They've done it a few times. They went to South Dakota State, North Dakota State a few times.
So Montana State, the rivalry is called Brawl of the Wild. How do you not go? Come on.
Yes, the Brawl of the Wild. Excuse me.
Brawl of the Wild.
Yeah. Brawl.
The winner of the game receives a Great Divide trophy.
That's awesome.
As the two universities are located on opposite sides of the Continental Divide. Come on, dude.
The Battle of the Ravine, I found out, was a D2 one that Reese Davis wanted to go to last week. Those campuses are separated by 500 yards.
Oh, yeah. They just walk.
They're across. That's so awesome.
Yeah. But no, we go when we do Pitt Notre Dame for another snooze fest of a game. Like,
I mean, it did make for a good college game day. Pittsburgh was very appreciative. College game day was there, right? It was a good crowd. The crowd was energetic. They were very responsive, right? So let's not. But yes, the game itself. Do you know
how
sucked.
Energetic those crowds would have been?
There
would have been RVs parked probably over top of each other.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see your point.
Yeah.
I accept your point, but all I'm saying is the good people that did show up in Pittsburgh should be commended. Okay. Because they were walking into a buzzsaw. That's all I'm saying. We have some time. First of all, did your groceries ever show up?
No, not yet. They weren't delivered yet.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. However, I mean, it's cold enough to probably up there. I mean, how cold? It's got to be in the 30s up there, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it snowed today, so. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow, too, so.
Stuff will be fine then.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Do you have an upset watch of the week?
Ooh.
What team's on upset? We haven't done this a lot. I like to do it.
Actually, the team that I think to put on upset is Texas. Against Arkansas.
Again? Wow.
I would say yeah.
Okay. That would really disrupt things, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that to me, that's a pretty valid one. It's also kind of hard because the standings aren't really updated. Like, we're just going off the AP.
Yeah.
So I could see Florida beating Tennessee because Florida's at home. Cincinnati beat BYU.
Can I give you one?
Yeah,
that I just stumbled upon. Kentucky over Vanderbilt on the road.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen too.
It would be such a... They're playing well. They're on a 3-game winning streak now, Kentucky. Fighting for bowl eligibility. It would be such a Kentucky thing to do. For their fans to be like, oh, football still exists? I thought we sucked at that. When they look up and see that they've beaten probably like a number 12 Vanderbilt at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because they're 14 right now, right? I will also, because I'm a cynical Michigan fan, but I think that this is just me being a realist, I will put Michigan on upset a watch as well.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, definitely.
Young team, getting younger.
Getting hurt.
Game before Ohio State.
Yeah.
Michigan's real bad. or I'm sorry, Maryland's real bad. Been real bad.
You're still
They're
not wrong.
They're still 1-6. Thank you. Like I just think it overlooks them. I think if Bryce Underwood plays well and doesn't turn the ball over, they have a good shot because their defense is playing well. But put them on upset alert. Okay. Parlay. Did Simeon ever text us back?
I do not believe.
Oh boy. Well, then we got to kill time.
Either that or we got to pick it for him. And guess what? He's taking, who is it? He's taking Samford outright against Texas A&M.
Oh, should I call him?
Yeah, you might as well.
Hopefully he's not doing something. Or hopefully he is doing something? I don't know. Okay, so let's we're just still trying to win this thing, yeah? Right? We can take anything we want.
Yeah, if you want. Did we win ours last week? We won ours last week, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did. We won last week, so we've now 3 wins on the year. We are 3-13.
Yeah.
3-10.
We're
13
good.
wins total.
We do this.
We did it. All right. What is your leg for the parlay?
So, I like this Texas Arkansas, and I like the Arkansas plus 8.5. Here's why. Looking at now, because I actually did some research on this, this means that Arkansas is going to get blown out of the water.
Okay.
But
that is noted.
Arkansas LSU, they lose by 1. Arkansas Mississippi State, they lose by 3. Arkansas Auburn, they lose by 9. A&M lose by 3. Tennessee lose by 3. Get mollywopped by Notre Dame. Okay.
Disregard that.
Disregard that one. Memphis lose by 1. Ole Miss lose by 6. All their games are really close.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't got to win. Just keep it close. Keep it within 8.5, baby. That's all I need.
Make Texas sweat a lot, right?
Especially, not to also say this very well could be a trap game for Texas too. Looking forward, Texas A&M next week. Everything is riding on Arch actually playing football again, because he couldn't figure out how to do it against Georgia.
There you go. All right. I you know what? I'm on board. With that. Simeon just texted back. He says Ohio. Ohio is playing UMass. Ohio is playing in an hour, in 45 minutes recording time. So Ohio, watch Ohio lose. Simeon would have the 2 worst losses in parlay history.
So, okay, he's taking them just straight up, just the win.
He just said Ohio.
Ohio, okay.
Yeah.
God. All right. If UMass beats Ohio tonight,
he would have UCLA, who was like 25-point dogs, and 34.5-point dogs. UMass scored 3 points and had to shoot off fireworks late in the fourth quarter because they were afraid they were going to get shut out and not get to shoot off the fireworks. There were exactly 4 people at the UMass game. All right, it was literally the first team that he saw that were okay. So now this puts pressure on me because I got to bring the odds back a little bit. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look. So Robert, talk about Army Navy uniforms while I look for my parlay. My other parlay now.
Absolutely. I believe it was last week. Army came out with their uniforms. They were commemorating 250 years of the Army, because it's obviously a big year coming up for the United States in general. 250, lots of patriotism and all that fun jazz. Their uniforms are predominantly, I think, all white, black lettering, and it had like the scripture. The script is kind of written in the font of the Declaration of Independence, which I like the font. I think the jerseys are just kind of a little bland for, I guess, what my expectations were, just because they always come out just banger uniforms, but still, they were great. And then today, Navy came out with theirs for the 250 of the Navy, and then another big year. But it's more for the USS Constitution, I believe, and they got the kind of like pirate paper, like on you'd see like for an old map, but it was the ship on the side of it. Super dope. Our Navy just killed it again with their uniform this year. That's why I always say that Army Navy usually has the best uniforms for one single game. But there's actually been a lot of colleges this year that have come out with a lot of actually pretty good uniforms. And I've actually been really impressed. Everyone's kind of stepping their game up because they hear how much we talk about Army Navy. But definitely I would like to get myself one of those.
Yeah. How much would you pay for that?
I mean, like just the jersey?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can buy the jerseys, but like they don't come with like the patches or anything on them.
Okay.
Which like I think they're like $150 or whatever. But like if you could get one that has all the patches and like all that all the cool stuff on it, like that's easily $350, $400.
Okay. Nice.
I would, yeah. The helmet, that's like thousands of dollars for the helmet. That's just but having one of those bad boys, that is just chef's kiss.
Is that the dream, Rob? People always say, that's the dream. Is that your dream to have that?
The dream would honestly to be that every year when they came out with a new like uniform that I could get a like Army Navy helmet and this whole house would be full of them. Dude, so whoever actually comes up with their stuff, like whether it's like the cadets themselves, the sailors, the midshipmen, or whoever, like those people deserve millions of dollars because it is just incredible what they do.
Shout out to those creators of the uniforms for Army Navy. This is one thing in college football that Robert is very passionate about. Dude. In all seriousness, he loves he loves all uniform kind of combinations things, but specifically the Army Navy uniforms. I think he has a countdown on his phone.
I wait all year for just this because when Army came out with theirs, immediately sent it to you guys. And it was like, I was just waiting, like, when is Navy going to drop theirs? Because I just knew it was going to be intense.
But Navy won the battle.
I would say, yeah.
Uniform battle.
Yeah, usually they're really close where it's kind of like either one is either one you could kind of go with. I would just go with Navy's this year. I think Navy just knocked it out of the park. Army's is still good. It's just, I compare it to previous years where I would say that previous years they had better ones, but every single uniform they make has a meaning, so I don't want to diminish the meaning of them. You know what I mean?
All right. And just because I have now figured out my life, I'm going to show everyone. So this is the Army uniform right here. So kind of that letter script. And then this is Navy's this year. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, again, it's more the helmets, which I'm not sure I can get a clear kind of shot of. But the Navy helmets are, for me, what does it.
God, they're so good.
Yeah. So
even last year's helmet, man, the Jolly Rogers. Oh,
I'm trying to. Are any of these? No, none of that. Oh, here it is. Right, that's kind of the top of it.
Yeah. Let me see.
So, all right. Simeon texted back because you can't bet Ohio outright. You can't bet their money line. So he is taking JMU outright, which they are 13.5-point favorites. So that brings it down a little bit, which still kicks it to me. And I do think that I found a game, and it is in the noon window. It is Northwestern and Minnesota. Northwestern is favored by 3.5. I'm going to take a swing here. I like row the boat. Northwestern's defense was very porous against the run. That is one thing Minnesota wants to do. So go ahead and give me Minnesota plus 3.5, which I thought I was going to take layups. But, Robert, I am kind of feeling myself a little bit after that last week's parlay win. What do you think about that?
It's not a bad one. I could get down with that.
You could get down with it. You are questioning my my life decisions right now, but hey, I think that I wasn't impressed with Northwestern. This game's also at Wrigley. I think Minnesota they're going to be 8-4. I don't know. They just have that kind of feel that Minnesota just messes around all year, and then you look up at the end of the year, they're 8-4 and they win a bowl game. Alrighty, I think we are at an hour, so I think that will do it for this week's rendition of 4th and 1 podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening to our ramblings for the last hour. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and enjoy your college football Saturday. We will be back on... I will be back Sunday, and then Robert will be back next Tuesday for another full-length episode.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Robert, you sent a chat.
Yeah, I don't know if I was going to show it for you or not. It was more of a side view of the helmet.
There it is. Wait, I do want to get everyone this if people want to see it. So... there you go.
Yeah, that's incredible, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. Please,
so's the robot. Yeah, so's the robot.
Please, everyone, disregard that meme there. However, that is very funny. All right, everybody, we will actually. That's a perfect way to end the Worstest podcast on the interwebs. We'll see you next week. Wash your hands, you filthy animals.